What's up, guys? I'm Preston, head of formulations here at Define Nutrition.
And I'm Kevin, owner of Define Nutrition.
And today we are here to talk about our carb product, Define Glucose Plus. So Define Glucose Plus is going to be our peri-workout carbohydrate product. It is composed of cluster dextrin, or highly branched cyclic dextrin is what it's commonly referred to as well as dextrose.
So the most basic way to think about Define Glucose is a carbohydrate supplement. Now, carbohydrate supplements aren't super glamorous in the industry, mostly because we're getting most of our carbs from food. But carbohydrates are what our body is designed to use for actual fuel, not just energy or stimulants. This is actual energy, so it can be even more beneficial than most other supplement ingredients out there. So having it in supplement form can have some major benefits to it. So Define Glucose specifically is more in the realm of simple carbohydrates. That's our more faster digesting energy sources there, because it is designed to take around our workouts. That's where we're burning through that glycogen even quicker than we normally would. So we want to make sure that we're replenishing that glycogen, that energy, as fast as possible.
So with that being said as well, with the glycogen replenishment, one other thing that we're looking for out of it, and just something that's unique toward it, is the role of simple carbs and their ability to actually raise insulin or spike insulin. So I'm sure that's something you've heard of before. Whenever it comes to just pounding simple carbs throughout the day, not the most recommended thing, but whenever we do it around the workout, allowing our insulin to be elevated around the workout window can actually be super beneficial. So insulin acts as our most anabolic hormone in our body, even above testosterone. So just having that in an elevated state around that workout window can be super beneficial for being able to put on muscle, as well as helping us get into that recovery state, because insulin can actually help act as like almost a shuttler of nutrients as well. So helps the nutrients that we are getting in, whether it's just carbs or whether it's like carb stacked with protein or something, getting that into our system as fast as we physically can.
So when it comes to the formula of Define Glucose, this is one that we actually kept pretty simple. It was one that we weren't even really able to add a ton of ingredients, because the more you add, the more complex it potentially gets. So we started with dextrose. This is the most simple form of carbohydrates. It literally does not have to be broken down in the body. It essentially just gets moved right over to blood glucose. The only other ingredient that we did add on top of that is highly branched cyclic dextrin in the form of the patented version cluster dextrin. This one is a slightly more complex carb, not by a whole lot, but it does have a much higher molecular weight, which really translates into moving through the stomach much faster. So dextrose will typically sit on the stomach a little bit, and if you take a lot, like a ton of it, you can kind of start to feel that. So we kept dextrose a little bit more to a minimum, with that cluster dextrin on top of it, moves through the stomach much faster, and then breaks down a little bit slower. So overall, that really helps create something that generally will feel much lighter when you're taking it, especially around a workout. And it will actually help with any potential crash that you might feel from taking copious amounts of dextrose after the fact.
So again, with the Define Glucose Plus being a peri-workout carbohydrate, what that actually means is around your workout window or around your workout. So pre, intra, or post, I find all three of those times to be almost equally relevant depending on what sport you're participating in or what you're actually doing. In terms of pre-workout, sometimes people will legitimately just put this with an actual pre-workout, or just taking it roughly 30 minutes before you start training allows it to be in your system by pretty much the time that you get to the gym. Whenever it comes to intra workout, this is one of the more popular times to take it, because of the reason that like Kevin said, you're burning through glycogen, you're burning through energy when you're training. This is help replenishing it. So this is essentially just replenishing that glycogen as we burn through it. Whenever it comes to a post-workout setting, we see a big importance, especially whenever it comes to harder workouts or things where we're beating ourselves up a little bit more, pairing carbohydrates with protein post-workout. Most commonly seen with like simple carbohydrates plus a fast-acting protein makes a pretty cool post-workout stack. The idea is that we're replenishing the glycogen that we just burnt through, And B, we're actually spiking our insulin a little bit to act as, again, that transporter hormone to allow us to shuttle the amino acids from the protein to our bodies quicker. So whenever you're pairing it with something else too, has massive applicability, whether that is an isolate post-workout or even something like a hydration product like Define Hydrate while you're working out. With that stack, you're helping replenish the glycogen as well as replenish the electrolytes. So that's a super common one for people to do. But whenever it comes to who it's really made for, who it's tailored to, really everybody. Again, it depends on what you are doing with how much you may want to take or how little, but endurance athletes in particular, or people who are burning through the most glycogen, the most energy when you're training, are typically the people who we see it most applicable for. Not to say that it can't be taken at other times. So I'm a power lifter and I've used this through all of my off season and prep training. I always kind of like to say that carbs around my workout window, like my peri-workout carbs, frequently do more for my energy than any sort of caffeine or stimulants do. So even though I'm competing and training within a very low rep range, something that I'm not burning as much glycogen as, say, someone like a cyclist is, I still find it massively applicable for someone like myself.
And that's a big reason that Defined Glucose is unflavored, is that you can pair it with any flavor of any other product, whether you're mixing with your protein, hydration, your aminos, pre-workout, whatever it is. And it's at 25 grams of carbohydrates per scoop, so it can be taken at whatever dose that you need it to be. You can find Defined Glucose at definenutrition.com, as well as various other retailers around the country. And if you guys have any other questions about Defined Glucose or anything else, please feel free to reach out to us on social media.